See, in Deadlock, there's a lot of small niche mechanics or even small details you might be missing. And today, I'm going to be going over some of my top tips and tricks that you should probably know. Ways to be taking less damage from minions, how to move around the map a lot quicker, and just some general knowledge. My name is Doug Films, a current Eternus ranked player and the team analyst for Rose Syndicate. If you like this type of content, make sure to sit back, relax, and of course enjoy the show. Ever wonder why pros and high elo players in Deadlock are jumping next to their Guardian while a wave is crashing into them? Well, it's actually because of this one simple thing. While a wave is crashing into your Guardian, usually you pull aggro from the minions. By jumping next to the Guardian or doing small hops, you actually drop the aggro of the minions from yourself back to the turret so you're not taking a tremendous amount of damage. Lane freezing is a fundamental mechanic that most MOBAs have, and of course Deadlock is no exception. Now freezing a wave locks the minion's fighting line in place. This is truly only achieved when you're going for only final hits on the minions when they're about to die, and refraining from dealing any additional damage. And there is a time and place when you want to do this, but most players fail to recognize. If you find yourself in a lane matchup that's not favorable, then it might be a good idea to freeze the wave near your tower. This allows you to safely farm and deny souls from aggressive opponents. However, the downside is that you're surrendering a ton of map pressure and lane priority, and an enemy laner can exploit this freed up time to roam, gank other lanes, or invade your jungle. With Apollo in any tier 2 camp that has 3 denizens like this, you can actually hit all 3 with his flawless advance without any items, so no mystic expansion like so. All you do is line yourself between these candles, press 3, and you hit all 3 of them. It's just a little bit of a faster way to farm. Whether it's super practical to use all the time, that's really up for debate, but is it something you might want to know? Sure. Next tip is with Billy, and that is with his bash down ability. If you tap 1, you proc your bash down like normal. If you hold 1, you actually stall in the air for a little bit, meaning you could be a little bit more unpredictable with your ability hitting, which can be useful in certain scenarios and definitely worth a shot. Now, in all of my hours in Deadlock and Eternus rank, I still find players that don't understand one simple mechanic with Rejuv, and that is if you're on 1 HP and the Rejuv crystal falls, you want to let the 1 HP person hit it first. This allows them to get full HP, get the buff, allows them to carry on farming or go into the fight, whatever the case may be. Again, something super simple that I see a lot of players mistakenly forget about. Here's some random Deadlock facts you may or may not know. If you don't know this, make sure to subscribe. Billy actually has the fastest light melee in the entire game, so instead of going for those heavy melees, just whack them with the bat. With Vindicta and both great talent, by activating your flight and quickly canceling it, you propel yourself forward at a rapid speed and a rapid height, but don't carry on flying, so if you're looking for a quick and faster escape, try that out. Then moving on to Rem, if you're trying to buy it and you're still trying to roam around, quickly put it into your quick buy and send your little helpers to go buy it at the shop for you. Here's how you can ZMC in Deadlock. If you don't know what ZMC is, it's basically dismounting the transit line using your crouch into a dash. And there's actually a couple characters that are able to capitalize on this using abilities that have cast timers, being Lash. To perform it, we go from a ZMC, so control shift, into a death slam because it carries the momentum. To do the same exact thing with the Yamato, so control dash into your power slash. Also do it with pocket by doing control shift into your barrage. You can also use it with Dynamo's singularity, like so. Here's a niche Mo and Krill tip. You can actually still cancel the momentum of a heavy melee, and by doing so, it can bait out a ton of pain. All you really have to do is jump, or a double jump, look straight into the sky and perform a heavy melee like so. This is your momentum of your heavy melee. It's extremely useful if you're trying to bait out enemy parry. But here's another angle. You can either do a double jump or a single jump and go into a heavy melee. Just make sure you go straight up into the sky when you're looking. And if you found this useful, make sure to check out the channel. This is canceling the momentum. Now here's just a general tip that's pretty useful pretty much all the time, and that is the simple philosophy of pushing the wave before you rotate. A push lane forces someone to defend it. Rotating on an even or losing wave usually costs your team hundreds of souls, a guardian, a walker, and even the game. Having lane priority in all of your waves is a great rule of thumb, so always be pushing in the waves. Generally, I like to push in the first wave, and then I like to hyperlane the second wave so that you have 2 basically waves pushing. The next step is about a IED. No, not the improvised explosive device, but a IAD. Basically an instant air dash. To do this, you do a short jump into an instant dash, and doing it diagonally makes you maintain momentum more efficiently than repeatedly dashing in a straight line, helping you cover distance with less stamina. Now, the reason why you use A and D instead of pressing W is because W actually slows down your momentum because it is a Valve game on the Source engine, just like games like TF2, CSGO, or CS2. Now, that's why it's using A and D is generally better. Now, a big thing that I think a lot of people don't really consider is how I like to say every fight needs some type of reward. And what I mean by that is that before an engagement or before a fight, ask yourself, are we getting mid-boss from this? Are we getting a walker? Are we getting the rift? Are we getting enemy jungle? Are we getting the urn? If the answer is nothing, then it's probably a bad fight. Having a reason to why you're taking that fight is generally the better idea because now you have something to work for and you're going to try to win that fight. Because sometimes people and most players just take random fights and it doesn't really matter because the timers are so low, people respawn super quickly, and a winning fight could easily turn into a losing fight in a matter of seconds. Now, the next tip you've probably heard time and time again, and that's a mantle slide. Mantle while holding crouch. If you hold crouch as you mantle over ledges, you'll immediately transition into a slide, preserving momentum and making your movement much faster. This is one of the easiest movement techs there is to learn, and pretty much is the fundamental of all movement. If you're opening up the game for the very first time, or you've been playing for some time now and still don't know about this, I highly encourage you to learn it because it's useful in every single scenario and pretty much useful in every single case. It just basically allows you to traverse the map a lot quickly, get out of fights, dodge enemies, move around the map, all that jazz. Something definitely I recommend. Some more just general Deadlock tips are tips like you want to fight after key cooldowns. Instead of asking, can we win this fight? You want to ask yourself if did Abrams use his charge, did Big Bop use his hook, did Apollo use his riposte, and did Silver use her ultimate? Because these cooldowns are really big examples of why you need to choose your engagements and your best windows to fight. Following that, you don't want to use every stamina bar. Good players always keep one stamina charge available. Having a single dash left often means the difference between escaping an ultimate or dying, without anything left over. Trying to min-max your stamina as much as possible is one of the key ways of, just doing well in this game. I think a lot of people forget about this or just kind of sleep on this, and it's far in between every rotations. By now, hopefully you know that you need to rotate to a fight because you need to help your team. But the best players almost never move across the map empty-handed. They grab a jungle camp, break boxes, clear a wave, or collect statues while rotating. Trying to min-max this is a great way of staying ahead of the game, staying on par with the enemies, and getting to the fight in a proper time and manner. Now, one last thing I want to talk about is chasing kills. Sometimes it's okay to let that person on 1 HP or 5% HP getting away if it means you not chasing the enemy and then just dying. If you have to give up the kill because you need to stay alive because it's a crucial timer, like a timer for mid-boss or anything like that, or even Rift, it's okay to give the kill. It's not always in your best interest to run down and secure that kill if it means yourself dying for it. And if you're a person that's a lot more fed and that your death will make a lot more of a difference than his death, then it's just not worth chasing. I would say it's only acceptable to chase if you know it's a 1-for-1 and the person you're chasing is rather fed, they have a lot more souls than you, so they have a longer death timer than yourself, so you're up faster. But anyways, those were some Deadlock tips I wish I knew before I started playing this game. And if you like this type of content or want to see more, or if you have your own tips, tricks, and or ideas, let me know in the comments down below. Like always, I hope you have a great and safe day, and I'll catch you in the next one.